vegan, because we don't sell our souls to the devil.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nasze programy oferują wiele języków. Prosimy zobaczyć suprememastertv.com/schedule.
By 2017, the global agricultural use of pesticides had grown to 4.1 million metric tons per year, a nearly 81% increase from 1990. According to research, pesticides are responsible for over 3 million poisoning cases annually and an estimated 220,000 deaths. Continue watching to find out more.
Antona Ai Masosawa Aka means how are you in Menace, a language spoken in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao in the Philippines. This is how the warm-hearted people of Bangsamoro might greet you if you ever visited their land. Splendid viewers, my name is Zoran. The angelic residents of Bangsamoro wish you a delightful and fulfilled life journey on earth. Welcome to our show, Pesticide Impact, a Silent Menace. Pesticides, including herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, rodenticides, and bactericides, are chemical or biological agents that are used in many agricultural and industrial sectors to control pests, weeds, and diseases. After the 1950s, the utilization of pesticides increased progressively due to the rising world population and booming economies. Unaware of their deleterious effects on health and the environment, pesticides were mistakenly seen as an effective tool to protect crops so as to maximize the yield of production and quality. One of the critical reasons causing the soar in pesticide use is the pesticide treadmill. The widespread and continuous utilization of chemicals leads to the evolution of pesticide-resistant insects and weeds. In turn, farmers have to use more and deadlier pesticides as time progresses to get the same result. People are also exposed to multiple pesticide residues, leading to the cocktail effect, or the interaction of such substances that enter the body, thus possibly creating damaging results. According to the Pesticide Action Network UK, there is a growing body of evidence that pesticides can become more harmful when combined, even when each individual chemical appears at levels at or below its no observed effect concentration. By 2017, the global agricultural use of pesticides had grown to 4.1 million metric tons per year, a nearly 81% increase from 1990. According to research, pesticides are responsible for over 3 million poisoning cases annually and an estimated 220,000 deaths. The famed book, Silent Spring, written by Rachel Carson, an American marine biologist and conservationist, was published in 1962 and caught people's attention regarding the use of chemicals in the environment. Based on several years of research, the book discusses the detrimental effects of pesticides and tries to raise public awareness of the danger that these substances pose to humans, animals, and ecosystems. Pesticides can directly or indirectly negatively affect the health of living beings via air, water, soil, or other parts of an ecosystem. Due to their persistent nature and bioaccumulation properties, pesticides are harder to degrade in the environment. When pesticides are ingested, they can accumulate in fat tissue over time and are eliminated slowly. Major chemical classes of pesticides include organophosphates, pyrethroids, organochlorines, and many others. Depending on the type of pesticide, people can be exposed to it in different ways, such as oral ingestion, dermal contact, and inhalation through the nose and mouth. Ingesting residues in food or drinking water are the most common routes of exposure to pesticides for the general population. Organochlorine pesticides, or OCPs, like DDT, were used between the 1940s and 1960s on farms and elsewhere, but now almost all are banned globally due to their health and environmental dangers. OCPs have strong lipophilicity. Chemists use the axiom like dissolves like to describe this chemical characteristic, whereby lipophilic substances have the tendency to dissolve in similar compounds such as fats, lipids, and oils. Therefore, when the toxic OCPs are ingested, they might partition into fat tissues and be stored inside. This is not only limited to humans, but also it affects other living beings in the same way. These pesticides also have poor biodegradation and long half-lives, meaning that it takes a longer time for the body to reduce the amount by half. These characteristics of OCPs can eventually lead to biomagnification, which describes the phenomenon in the ecosystem when the concentration of toxic substances increase as they move up the food chain. How exactly does the concentration of a pesticide increase as it moves up the food chain? First, pesticides can be consumed by zooplankton, which are small organisms in the ocean. Then those zooplankton are eaten by small fish, which might later be eaten by bigger fish or birds. Due to the lipophilic nature of some pesticides, they are harder to excrete in the urine and accumulate inside the body over time. Eventually, the detrimental effect of biomagnification is at its greatest when it ends up in the stomachs of meat eaters. An article from the Journal of Neurology discusses the findings of systematic reviews and meta-analyses of epidemiologic studies and highlights the potential association between obesity, weight change, and dementia. Studies have found that the concentration of OCPs in the brain is correlated to the serum concentration of neurotoxic OCPs. If the amount of OCPs released into the blood circulation increases, there might be a higher risk of dementia. An important clinical finding has been that weight loss can redistribute OCPs in the adipose tissues and brain. During weight loss, fat tissue will shrink and in turn release OCPs back into the bloodstream and travel to other parts of the body, including the brain. Weight loss can happen intentionally via active weight control or unintentionally as a result of disease. However, intentional weight loss might be less problematic than unintentional weight loss in terms of the amount of OCPs being released into the blood. The reason is that intentional weight loss, such as through exercise and or going on a diet, potentially helps the body to excrete more OCPs out of the system. As a result, the amount of OCPs that end up in the brain might be less than those making a healthy lifestyle change. In addition, pesticides can cause acute adverse health effects, including respiratory tract irritation, allergic sensitization, eye and skin irritation, nausea, diarrhea, headache, extreme weakness, seizures, or death. In many cases, pesticide poisonings are misdiagnosed because the symptoms are similar to a cold or the flu. Numerous conditions can develop after continuous exposure to low levels of a toxic pesticide, including cancer, Parkinson's disease, hormone disruption, asthma, allergies, developmental disorders, and sterility. What can we do in communities to protect ourselves from the harmful effects of pesticides? One way is by implementing sustainable-oriented agroecology and vegan organic farming practices. It is a win-win-win solution for humans, wildlife, and the environment because it will also take care of all elements involved in food production, such as soil health, water and air quality, pest management, and disease control, but in a more eco-friendly and healthy way. The available methods, to name a few, include crop rotation and usage of cover crops, which encourage good soil health. Better soil means an increase in beneficial microorganisms, insects, and plants that will do the work to ward off diseases and weeds. Reintroducing crop diversity instead of using monoculture production can stimulate beneficial biological interactions between different plants and species to balance the ecosystem. This all can build long-term soil fertility, produce constant yields, and nurture humans and all beings on Earth. You can go to your local farmers market and talk directly to the farmers about their pesticide use. If you can encourage them to switch to sustainable farming practices, this will tremendously benefit many in the community. Each of us can also grow our own vegan organic produce. It would be great to turn your garden or balcony into a mini farm or participate in a community farming project. Imagine yourself picking your own hand-planted vegetables and herbs while bees, butterflies, and birds fly about. Wouldn't it be a beautiful and harmonious scene? If vegan organic items are not easily accessible in your area and being your own farmer is challenging at the moment, here are some tips which can help to minimize the pesticide residues on the food you buy. Thoroughly wash all produce under running water and dry them with a clean towel. Be sure to scrub firm fruits and vegetables like melons and root vegetables. One study showed that simply rinsing produce under cold water was already enough to reduce pesticide residues for 75% or 9 of the 12 pesticides tested. Vinegar is another way to get pesticides off vegetables and fruits. You can prepare diluted vinegar with clean water in a ratio of 1 part vinegar to 4 parts water. Then soak them for about 20 minutes. Removing the outer layer of vegetables like cabbage and peeling fruits and vegetables is another effective way to lessen pesticide intake. Lastly, going vegan is the simplest and most efficient way to help minimize our exposure to pesticides. By adopting a vegan lifestyle, we can significantly lower the chance of consuming pesticides that tend to magnify in animals at higher levels of the food chain. Moreover, adopting a plant-based diet is very helpful for us to maintain a healthy weight. Vegan diets are rich in fiber, which is excellent in keeping us satiated. We thus avoid the consumption of extra calories. Setting aside animal products and reducing oil use can help keep the weight off, thus trimming down the amount of body fat tissue that tends to serve as a storage site for some pesticides. We hope that this show has encouraged you to take steps toward a healthier lifestyle and create an environment with minimized pesticide exposure. Wise viewers, we are honored to have you with us today for our program. Up next is Be Your Children's Best Friend, Part 2 of 6 on Between Master and Disciples. May your noble actions be blessed by the divine to benefit more people in need. Vegan, because we don't pay taxes for illnesses.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/HL.